Welcome to True Crime Deep Dive, the YouTube channel dedicated to exploring the lesser-known stories of injustice. No team, no flashy production, just a passion for uncovering the truth. I've always been fascinated by true crime, but not the cases that everyone else is talking about. I'm not interested in covering cases that are already trending or have been heavily covered by the media. Instead, I want to shed light on the forgotten cases, the ones that never made headlines or have been swept under the rug. You see, I believe that every victim deserves justice, regardless of whether their story has captured public attention or not. And that's why I'm here, to give a voice to those who have been silenced and to bring attention to cases that have been overlooked. But it's not just about the crime itself. I'm also passionate about standing against injustice. I firmly believe that the criminal justice system is flawed and biased, and it's our duty as citizens to question it and demand change. Through my deep dives into these cases, I hope to bring awareness to issues of injustice and spark important conversations. Another important aspect of my channel is breaking harmful stereotypes and stigma, particularly those surrounding drug addiction. Too often, those struggling with addiction are portrayed as villains or criminals, when in reality, they are victims of a broken system and often have their own stories of trauma and struggles. I want to humanize and bring empathy to those affected by addiction and show that they are more than just their struggles. So if you're ready to go beyond the surface and dive deep into the world of true crime, then you've come to the right place. Join me as we uncover the truth, seek justice, and challenge harmful narratives. This is True Crime Deep Dive. Let's get started. There's a saying, justice delayed is justice denied. In a world where the scales of justice are often tipped in favor of the powerful, the pristine gavel of a judge can symbolize both hope and despair. In the heart of the justice system, the judge's gavel begins its life untouched, unblemished. It stands as an emblem of fairness, a beacon of truth, and a guardian of the innocent. But as it navigates the complex labyrinth of human stories, the gavel starts to bear the brunt of the system's imperfections. Like a silent witness, it observes the wrongful convictions that shatter lives. It echoes the cries of the innocent, who find themselves ensnared in the web of prejudice and bias. It grieves for the broken promises that tarnish the sanctity of the courtroom, and for the voices that are silenced by the thundering verdicts. Yet, amid the cracks and flaws, the gavel persists. It carries the weight of its duty with unwavering resolve, never ceasing in its pursuit of justice. It's a constant reminder that, despite the challenges, the fight for justice can never be abandoned. In the face of adversity, the gavel strikes back, demanding a system that works for everyone. It rallies against the injustices, it champions the cause of the marginalized, and it amplifies the whispers of change into a resounding call for action. The gavel, in all its cracked and chipped glory, stands as a symbol of resilience. It reminds us that even in the face of harsh realities, the pursuit of justice must go on. It's a testament to the fact that despite the obstacles, the quest for a fair and just world is a fight worth fighting. As we delve deeper into the realm of true crime, let the gavel's journey serve as a reminder that the pursuit of justice is a collective endeavor, one that demands our unwavering commitment and relentless dedication. As we wrap up, ponder on these questions. How do we ensure that the gavel remains a symbol of justice and not of its failings? How can we contribute to a system that works for everyone? And finally, how can we make sure that the voice of the gavel is not drowned out by the noise of injustice? Remember, every crack in the gavel is a story that demands to be heard, a story that calls for change. This
Tonight in the high cost of homelessness, new drone video of a Germantown homeless camp that city leaders say is growing.
Well, this is the same area where Metro Police say a woman was attacked while running on the Cumberland River Greenway. That suspect last seen walking away from this camp. Fox 17 News' Kylie Walker joining us live near the Greenway with more tonight. Kylie.
That's right, and you could just see how close into proximity this trail is to that homeless encampment. Now, this recently raised questions within the community, so today we looked into who even owns this site and if they're aware of it. Several tents surrounded by piles of trash on this stretch of Greenway off Cement Plant Road in Germantown.
That's one that's kind of sprung up. I won't say sprung up overnight, but it's kind of grown quickly on us, and that the last time we had eyes on it, it wasn't as big as it is now.
Captain Greg Davis, who oversees operations at Metro Parks, says they've been working to find out who owns the land. Now, we did a property search for the address, and 10 results popped up, most of them Metro Water. So we reached out to Metro Water Services to ask if this encampment falls in their property lines. They replied and said it doesn't.
It is a continual challenge and something that we're actively working on.
Councilman Jacob Coupin says he walked this Greenway a few months back with the Office of Homeless Services. While he wants to get those people help and housed, he also emphasizes the need for safety after the recent attack on the popular running trail.
An incident like this brings to the forefront the conversation around safety for people, especially using that Greenway.
At the same time, Coupin says closing encampments like this is a lengthy process.
The way the Office of Homeless Services process works is that there's certain scores for camps, and they have a homelessness planning council that decides what the order of operations is for closing encampments and providing housing.
We also reached out to the Office of Homeless Services to see where this encampment falls on their priority list. They are not ready to announce next steps to the public in their prioritization list. And after the most recent incident on the trail, Coupin says he immediately called his contacts at the city level to see if that man did in fact live in this homeless encampment. So far, no confirmation, but again, we do know that the man was last seen walking away from that encampment. For now, live in Germantown, Kylie Walker, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Tonight in the high cost of homelessness, new drone video of a Germantown.
Forgotten, ignored, and turned away. Estimates are that 4,000 homeless people live in Music City, a number that only gets larger as the city continues to grow.
But tonight, a new documentary is trying to bring some attention to Nashville's most vulnerable population. New at 6:30, our Chris Conti has a closer look at how it started.
The city is growing, and then you're forgetting about this here. You're sweeping it under the rug.
On busy street corners and in tents along the river, Nashville's booming population isn't just booming downtown.
This is when we first got here?
Jeremy Miller and Edward Crow are not homeless, but they've spent the last 7 days as if they were.
This is day 2.
Camera in hand, these two men went to parts of the city most people couldn't care less about.
We got to put it to a step, and we got to be concerned for ourselves.
Talking to people who are often ignored.
I was in Vietnam, Tokyo, Japan, Germany.
Nashville is growing in more ways than one. Estimates are some 4,000 homeless people call the streets and tent cities home.
There is people who genuinely want help, who genuinely want to change. Maybe they don't know where to start.
Through their eyes and through their perspective, Edward and Jeremy are hoping to convey what it's like to be homeless in Nashville through a documentary.
This guy goes and he finds other homeless people who can't really take care of themselves.
Yeah, we're growing, but people are coming in from other cities, and they say, I've never seen this many homeless people before, but your city's nice.
They saw conditions comparable to the third world, all within a block of Broadway.
I'm just trying to make people aware that every homeless person you see isn't just lazy or good for nothing and don't want to, progress. They're actually ones who want to change. They just don't have that opportunity.
Their hope is the yet-to-be-named documentary will show people what it's really like to live on the streets of Music City and show people the city is unfortunately growing in more ways than one.
Nobody deserves to live in the dirt and mud.
Chris Conti, News Channel 5 HD.
Jeremy and Edward plan to release their documentary next month. Proceeds will help benefit the homeless. If you'd like to follow their progress, we have a link to their website on newschannel5.com.
Tonight in the high.
Irresponsible, neglectful, and careless. Those are the words from the family of the 23-month-old who died last week. Now they want answers from the state after they feel DCS failed to protect her. Ariel Rose was about to turn 2 next month. Her grandfather, Mickey Rose, and uncle, Michael Rose, describe her as a happy and fun girl. But Ariel had been living at Brookmead Park for several months with her father and mother. How was it going in there and seeing the conditions that they were living in?
It was traumatic. No child should live in those conditions.
Mickey says Ariel's parents are drug addicts, and once he saw Ariel lived at Brookmead, called the Department of Children's Services.
We have tried. They don't want to cooperate with anybody.
How frustrating has that been?
It's extremely annoying, especially since a child has now died.
We asked DCS through phone calls and emails if there has been any contact made with Mickey or Michael since the case had been filed back in March. We are waiting on that answer. A source close to the case says DCS is investigating a 1-year-old female death, and data also shows DCS has had contact with that family in the past 3 years. But Mickey says it's too late now. On November 11th, Ariel died at a transitional housing site she had been staying at in North Nashville. The cause of death is still under investigation. Do you think this death could have been prevented if DCS had stepped in?
Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely.
What message would you have for DCS?
Who's going to be next? Your granddaughter? Your grandson? No. Incompetent is the word I have for them.
Michael says Ariel had only been to the doctor 1 time since she was born. To him, that's neglect.
This is not a homeless encampment. This is a death encampment. This is a drug den.
A drug-infested homeless camp on the west side at Brookmead Park that now involves children, neighbors say. This is video of a man and a toddler shot yesterday, and people who live and work in this area are concerned.
They are. Fox 17 News' Caitlin Miller has more on what those who live and work in West Nashville find so very frustrating.
A community leader says that children are now being put in harm's way, and this should be the breaking point. But Rebecca Lowe with the group Reclaim Brookmead Park says she doesn't know what it will take for the city to take action and restore this park because she says nothing has been done for the last several years.
This video from Tuesday morning shows a man taking a young child into Brookmead Park, a park that's been overtaken by homeless people and illegal activity.
Everybody knows that this is not a homeless encampment. This is a death encampment. This is a drug den.
Rebecca Lowe, founder of the group Reclaim Brookmead Park, has been trying to get this park restored so families can use it for years. She tells us Mayor Cooper says the lack of affordable housing is the reason why the city isn't forcing the homeless out. So I asked Cooper about housing options.
Why are the pods in storage not being used for homeless people?
Let Brandon and me get back in touch with you with a very accurate discussion. I don't believe, again, Chief Survey, who is looking after our homeless effort, I don't think that he's holding any resources back.
The mayor's office later added that the plan for the pods is to be used for COVID-19 overflow. But if there was an emergency, the pods could be used for homeless people. Lowe emphasizes this is not an affordable housing problem. She says this is a drug and crime issue that now involves children.
This has to do with avid drug dealers who are openly dealing in public and have been for months and months and months.
Lowe says what should be an asset has become a stain on the community.
Of course, we would love to have a park that we could go to, but at this point, it's becoming a real safety issue, a health hazard. It's inhumane.
And she doesn't understand what it will take for city leaders to finally restore this camp.
First reported in August when Murfreesboro City Schools and Williamson County Schools sent letters to lawmakers asking them to reconsider. Now, since then, both Sumner and Wilson County Schools have sent similar letters. All of these districts are hoping lawmakers will make modifications so they can keep these retention decisions local.
Thousands of Tennessee students now at risk of getting held back if they don't pass the 3rd grade reading test. Students can avoid getting held back if they take mandatory summer school and tutoring. Several school districts have come out against the law, saying a student's promotion shouldn't be based on a single test, and that parents should have the final say in what's best for their child.
You should only retain as a last resort. because it doesn't really help kids. Only in extreme circumstances does retention help.
Our children are more than data, and I think this considers only data, and it doesn't consider any of the things that make a child a child.
Resolutions from at least 4 Middle Tennessee school districts now sit on the desks of state lawmakers, including State Representative Scott Sapicki, who chairs the state's Education Instruction Subcommittee.
We've heard from school districts that have come out in opposition. Would you be willing to take a look at that law and make modifications based on the feedback you've gotten from some LEAs?
Yeah, I think we can take a look at it because the boots on the ground are telling us there's a problem here.
Sapicki says he's open to modifying the law, but also wants to ensure high-level support is available for students before 3rd grade.
I think we got to bring all these supports all the way back into kindergarten to make sure that they have the tutors, they have the summer school to take advantage of, to use to make the kids the best they can be.
Last year, about 65% of 3rd graders statewide did not pass the reading test. And supporters of the law say that number shows more needs to be done to get students on track.
A multi-agency investigation took 103 pounds of fentanyl-laced drugs off Murfreesboro streets. And the 2 Californians the TBI believes brought those drugs here for a Mexican cartel now in jail. Welcome back to News 2 F4. Mark Kelly.
I'm Alex Dennis. Kinley Hargett spoke to experts who say moving drugs through Tennessee happens more often than you might think.
It still gets distributed here, and it probably comes from Atlanta or Chicago, one of the two.
February 4th's arrest of 2 Californians in Murfreesboro doesn't surprise Dr. Stephen Morris. He teaches political science and international relations at Middle Tennessee State University and has focused on corruption, drug trafficking, and violence in Mexico from cartels.
The heads of these cartels actually create a lot of turf battles and turf wars and these splinter groups that fight one another, and it's just, it seems to breed more violence.
Kevin Bucio Arredondo and Leslie Heredia were arrested in Murfreesboro after they were allegedly in possession of fentanyl-laced drugs. The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation believes these drugs originated from California, which Professor Morris says is not common. The majority of drugs brought to Tennessee are from Atlanta or Chicago.
Nashville is supplied, and whether that comes, it would seem odd to me that it would come from California unless it's people in the United States and not so much linked to the Mexican cartels. And, you know, that might be, but it seems like an odd supply chain, California to Nashville.
Addiction counselors say the opioid crisis remains constant, but fentanyl continues to get a tighter grip on the country.
We are seeing a spike at the moment. We have a facility, the Ranch, Tennessee, just outside of Nashville, that has seen a huge influx of clients coming in for treatment for addiction.
Patrick Custer is part of Promises Behavioral Health. He tells me the traditional method of buying drugs off a dealer still exists, but people are now more likely to buy their drugs online.
Online is a huge problem because the online market, you can pretty much order anything you want. And we're finding that more and more that people are just saying, you know, I ordered it.
Tennessee Attorney General Jonathan Skrmetti is just announcing today he is joining 21 other states in asking President Biden to designate Mexican drug cartels as foreign terrorist organizations under federal law. They believe this designation will help free up resources to deal with the opioid crisis. Alex?
Irresponsible, neglectful, and careless. Those are the words.
A multi-agency investigation took 103 pounds of fentanyl.
You're looking at exclusive surveillance footage shot this past September.
Set up shop in a hotel off of Old Hickory Boulevard.
Agents with the 18th Judicial Drug Task Force are surveilling 2 Nashville motel rooms.
Why are they here? Make money.
The footage shows several men who drug agents have identified as blood gang members from Detroit.
They get sent down here by their main guys to make money and to send it back. to their groups up there.
According to investigators, the men are selling these pills, narcotics, known as opanas, just outside the motel.
We had gotten them toward the end of their little business run. They only had maybe 20 to 30 opanas left.
When the raid goes down, officers seize close to $4,000 in cash.
We were fortunate enough to have an informant and actually buying from these guys.
Drug agents tell me these drug mules are part of a larger drug organization from Detroit.
Why do they come here?
They run out of business up there. There's more business down here. I guess they don't have enough customers, so they come down here.
That's when undercover officers show News 2 a Greyhound bus ticket found in the motel room. Now, according to agents with the 18th Judicial Drug Task Force, drug mules are coming from Chicago and Detroit, and they're taking the bus. Why the bus? Because it's easy to blend in while they're carrying narcotics.
They'll get a bus, come down here because it's less likely they'll get stopped, less likely they'll get searched, rent a car so they can ride around, do their deals, and they wire transfer money back.
A month later, the Detroit pipeline is alive and well again, as drug agents take down a second group of blood gang members, this time outside a Goodlettsville motel.
That we actually had some buys on these guys with our informant.
Drug agents seize opioids and heroin.
Of course, that comes from China, comes into Canada, comes down through here.
Would people be surprised to find out that the pipeline is from China?
Possibly. That's where a lot of our fentanyl's coming in.
Drug agents also seize thousands in cash. Featured prominently in these photo booth pictures, the men reportedly took at Dave & Buster's at Opryland.
It's all drug money. They're just bragging and having a good time with their drug money.
Do you think people would be surprised that the motel they may be staying at is being used for this?
Oh, absolutely. It's happening everywhere. I mean, these guys, they keep a low profile. They don't do anything crazy. They don't get violent. Keep it as quiet as they can and just do what they do.
Andy Cordan, News 2.
A multi-agency investigation took
You're looking at exclusive
37 Tennessee counties. That's the latest count from state, federal, and local law enforcement who call this a Tennessee emergency, one that's in many cases taxing their resources. They say it all stems from the border crisis.
Tonight, Fox 17 News' Kylie Walker is joining us live in the studio after asking what's being done to handle a federal issue impacting our communities. Kylie.
Yeah, Erica, Governor Lee, Senator Bill Hagerty, and our local law enforcement all put their heads together late this afternoon in a roundtable. This trying to get a handle on the rising drug problems and deadly overdoses here at home. They say it's a border problem that's now become a local problem.
In a recent visit to the southern border, Senator Bill Hagerty called it a crisis beyond measure. Now, he says he's determined to protect Tennesseans from issues surrounding the border.
It's not just the passage of humans that's coming across the border, it's the passage of drugs. And the passage of drugs, again, has precipitated this epidemic here in America that's being felt in every town and every city and every county right here in Tennessee.
Hagerty says this is a biggest issue for every law enforcement person he talks to. Those in Tennessee are strained because of the influx of drugs by cartels taking advantage of overwhelmed Border Patrol agents.
That's actually created this lawlessness that they're having to deal with here. We have drug cartels from Mexico active in 37 counties in Tennessee.
Hagerty says first and foremost, we need to keep Title 42 in place, predicting we'll have a surge of migrants and more drugs if we don't. The Biden administration says it will end Title 42 on May 23rd, which kept migrants from entering the U.S. during the COVID-19 health crisis. And we asked Governor Bill Lee if he's planning to use any of our state resources to help local law enforcement deal with what started as a federal issue.
Well, we've proposed in our budget funding for crime intervention grants, a significant amount. We'll see where that funding ends up as the budget is finalized. But as we told the law enforcement officials in there today, that's what we can do at the state level is support their efforts to fight criminal activity in their communities.
Governor Lee says the state is working to build a border strike force with a number of other governors to handle local problems, this all caused by the border crisis. Now, coming up a little later in this newscast, I'm going to show you how Customs and Border Protection here in Tennessee is intercepting drugs flowing in from the border.
Renters are outraged because they say they've had to throw out thousands of dollars worth of personal belongings.
At all,
his
with community members have been pleading with city leaders in Nashville to provide short-term housing with wraparound services to get our homeless population the help that they truly need. Fox 17 News' Amanda Chin is live in Belle Meade. Amanda telling us more about Reverend Fuzz's idea he's come up with. A good one.
Stacy, yes, Brookmead Park is just 3 miles down the road from where I'm standing here at Hillwood High School. And one longtime pastor says we should be looking to use this location to help house the homeless.
Reverend Enoch Fuzz has been in Nashville for over 45 years and has watched the homeless community grow dramatically.
How is it that Nashville avoid the homeless and the hungry?
He's driven past Brookmead Park's homeless encampment many times, but one day when leaving Walmart headed to Green Hills, he passed Hillwood High School in Belle Meade, and a light bulb went off.
I said, wow, what a beautiful campus. This would be the perfect answer to homeless. That battle that these people are having out here, they're going to all the wrong places, don't look like they're getting any answers.
Reverend Fuzz says the school is on a bus line, and it would be a great neighborhood for community members to also volunteer.
If we don't provide or create affordable housing, it will create itself.
Fuzz, who's been battling cancer, took his suggestion to Metro Council Tuesday night, where he says he's gotten widespread support so far.
We're having a discussion about $3 billion for a football stadium. Let's have a discussion about alleviating homelessness.
I asked Metro's Homeless Impact Division if they'll consider using this location since we don't have enough affordable housing online yet and ground hasn't been broken on a new homeless center planned next month. A spokesperson tells me in a statement, we remain open to opportunities that can lead to housing options for our unhoused neighbors.
And controversy surrounding cameras going into metro parks to police homeless camps. Supporters say they are all about safety, but critics say once again, we are spending money on a symptom and not the root problem. Fox 17 News' Amanda Chin going through new body camera video for us tonight to show us exactly what the conditions are in these homeless camps.
Footage we received shows many people living at Old Tent City are in support of cameras, but it's left critics wondering how we even got to this place.
Cameras will soon be installed inside Brookmead Park, costing taxpayers over $1 million. Fox 17 News obtained body camera footage from another encampment, Old Tent City. You can see officers asking those living at the encampment their thoughts on adding cameras inside the park.
That way we can go back and say, all right, we can rewind the footage between when you say they went into the tent, like the dates and times in between those, and see who went into your tent.
It's more for your safety than anything. It's not them spying.
It'd be a good idea. Keep crime down. It's great as long as we're able to see that it's there. I mean, I don't want them to be like hidden or whatever.
A spokesperson for Metro Parks tells me at this time there is no estimate as to how much cameras will cost if they're installed at Old Tent City, which will become Wharf Park. I asked Metro Council member Gloria Hauser why the issues come down to using taxpayer funds for these cameras and patrol officers. She says it's because homeless camps have been ignored for years, and the issues finally come to light now. While more than 15 people surveyed supported the cameras, Paula Foster with Open Table Nashville is concerned for privacy reasons.
In addition to the fact that the police officers, in all of the things that I listened to through those videos, is the police officers were giving them all the reasons why they should say yes. They didn't give them a whole lot of the possibilities of what could go wrong. And they were very, it's going to be fine. We're not going to look at it all the time.
Foster believes we should instead focus on spending money to find housing for the homeless community.
Only 4% of people who have been disorderly or committed some type of offense that stemmed from a behavioral crisis have been arrested since Monday, Metro Police tell me. So instead of getting a mugshot, they're getting their help they need to succeed.
Aisha Robinson is a crisis counselor who assists Metro police officers with mental health calls as part of the Partners in Care pilot program that launched last June.
It allows you to be able to talk with people, relate to people, seeing different, as far as triggers, or just notice certain things that the officers wouldn't notice.
She can then assist someone in that crisis right then and there. Metro Police Inspector David Imhoff oversees this program and says this is all in an effort to keep people with mental health issues out of jail. But is it working?
What happens next? Do you see these people on the street again? Do you encounter them?
Well, the hope is that when we're dealing with folks, they've fallen into crisis. Our hope is to get them treatment, get them services, get them follow-up services so they don't fall into crisis again.
Imhoff says the data is encouraging so far.
Should somebody be booked, fingerprinted, mugshot, and have a criminal record because they suffer from an illness? We don't think so.
And while others are concerned that these people are not going to jail, Robinson argues it would be an endless cycle if they did arrest them immediately for a lower level offense.
It's just going to be right back to where you started. So if you start from the root of the problem and trying to get them help, then I feel like it'll help with recidivism as far as in the prison system.
Robinson says instead they divert people to therapy. They will help get them doctor's appointments, food, and transportation.
I'll see someone and they'll be like, hey, you remember me? And I'm just like, what? And they're like, yeah, I'm doing better now. I have this job.
She emphasizes this is the most rewarding part of the program.
The Metro Police Department told me they will look to expand the program once the pilot is over in June. They also want to get social workers involved in the police academy so all officers can get extensive mental health training.
Yeah, Scott, we're going to take you down this road right now, but during the day, especially at night, though, this road we're on, this is where a lot of local residents are concerned about some dangerous road conditions. We're about to be on Briley Parkway. Now, as you can imagine, this is going to be, we're going to show you some video from earlier today, but this is the area where people are seeing some very low visibility and also mounds of blowing dust that's been kicking up. And this is worrying quite a bit of drivers. As you can see, we're about to go into it right now. You can hear those rocks just below the car. We want to show you some more of that footage from earlier today, though. Take a look.
I've never seen gravel coming out of the pavement and a huge dust cloud on any road ever. And I've been driving a long time.
These are the road conditions that drivers are faced with when traveling through the area of Briley Parkway East near Gallatin Road.
Even if I create distance, yes. Even if a car's beside me, the rocks are flying off their wheels, hitting my car.
Gary Rich, a longtime driver with UPS, spends most of his time on the roads.
If a motorcycle goes through there, it could pop them in the face if they don't have a face shield, or if they don't have eye protection, it could pop them in the eye.
Rich says this has been going on for at least 2 weeks. He reported it on January 10th, though, through Hub Nashville. This is a phone line that connects you with Metro representatives. And without getting a response back, Rich says it's frustrating as a taxpayer.
It's a very dangerous situation, and I just hope that TDOT will repair this soon.
And since this falls on a state route, this area is maintained by TDOT. And when I reached out to them, I received a statement saying they're aware of this situation and they're working on securing a contractor to repave the road as soon as possible. With a spokesperson saying in part, repaving work could begin next week, but it's weather dependent and may need to be adjusted. Rebecca Hammond also says they had crews out last night sweeping the areas of debris.
Maybe we'll have good weather and they can jump on it next week with a contractor. I certainly hope so.
37 Tennessee counties. That's the
Well, services are being held today for University of Missouri student Riley Strain. His body found last week in the Cumberland River 2 weeks after he vanished in downtown Nashville during a night out with friends. Now, Strain was last seen on surveillance wandering the Nashville streets. Somehow ended up in the Cumberland River, 8 miles from where he was last seen. The coroner's report said no foul play is suspected. However,
Riley's family has ordered a second autopsy. Now, we asked Nashville Mayor Freddie O'Connell about that decision earlier today.
I certainly support the family's interest in getting complete information there. I did have the opportunity to meet with them, and I know how just devastating this is to them as a family, and so I certainly want them to be able to get full information.
Riley's family says in lieu of flowers, donations can be made to the Missouri Department of Conservation.
And controversy surrounding cameras going into metro parks to police homeless camps. Supporters say they are all about
I don't smoke in front of the family. I hide it because I'm ashamed of it.
Tonight in Operation Crime and Justice, Metro Police detectives keep 50 stolen cell phones from leaving the state, possibly the country. They say the two people you just saw are part of a large-scale theft ring that targeted downtown bars. Fox 17 News' Kylie Walker now live on Broadway with more on this bust.
Police say that those phones were stopped at a shipping store on Lebanon Pike after officers were alerted of a suspicious package. Now, keep in mind, this comes just 1 month after a very similar incident where officers did recover 27 other stolen phones. Last week, Metro Police arrested 2 people and charged them with felony theft after police say they linked them to 50 stolen cell phones that were intended to be shipped out of state or overseas to China. Now, police say the uptick in phone thefts from the entertainment district led them to the bust. With 2 visitors from Missouri telling Fox 17 News they too fell victim to the crimes.
These people knew what they were doing. You know what I mean? They immediately had either our phones turned off or the SIM.
Okay, you guys. So this is gonna be like kind of a not a deep dive because Fumble's going live at 9, so I'm trying to be conscientious with time. So I wanted just to show you guys like kind of just a sweep of what I found when I just literally typed in Nashville Broadway, and of course you get all the good part, the touristy stuff, but you get to about page 3 and it starts to take a very like left turn into this dark headline after headline after headline. So I found these ones particularly interesting because of the fact that they either specifically mentioned the bars that we have been looking into since Riley's case, or just the strip or the general area. But these girls even said that they were visiting specifically from Missouri, which is where Riley was from. So tell me that they're not targeting a certain type of tourist, and I will tell you that you are full of crap. They are absolutely targeting these college kids and waiting to catch them in vulnerable scenarios, like by themselves, separated from friends, and are robbing them, and in some cases worse. I mean, was this what happened with Riley? Was this one of those cases that just so happened to be worse? Because he doesn't have his phone, he doesn't have his wallet, he doesn't have his pants. I mean, that kind of changes the trajectory of what possibly could have happened. And the fact that Nashville or Metro Police has doubled down on not investigating further is absolutely unacceptable. And it is happening way too often for me to sit here and click past all these headlines, all these victims that have been overlooked and dismissed by the same police department, and then just not say anything about it and move on to the next case. I can't do it. That's not how I was raised, and it's just not how I operate. Like, it is absolutely a problem. And for you as a police department to be more worried about tourists coming and spending money, and rather than do your due diligence to make sure they are prepared when they come there to spend money, that they are able to go back home to their families is disgusting, and it's unacceptable, and you got to do better. This is all my opinion. Please do your own research, form your own opinions. The only things that I'm going to be quoting today, I'm going to stay away from Reddit and stuff like that. These are just strictly going to be based off of news articles, official, like, cannot be disputed. And I mean, I went as far back, I think, as 2014, and everything you can think of is a problem there. It's not just homelessness, which is a big problem. It's not just these crime rings, which is the theft rings, which is a pickpocketing and strong arming, or that's a big problem too. But then there's this other side of it where there is a hub for drug cartels that are using the tourist area to push their lace drugs, and people are dropping like flies because they get something that they think is a Percocet or a Xanax, and it's really 75% fentanyl, and they don't come home. I mean, there's so many huge problems happening in this one little confined area that it is a miracle that people are even. Yeah, and they have no idea. The people that are not, that these young kids, they're not getting on and watching the news before they go on their trips for school, for college. Absolutely not. They are completely blindsided and walking into this wolf den, and full of sharks, with no idea that they're even in any element of danger, because we're more concerned about them not spending their money there because they want to take pause. And I'm not saying you should be scared and that you shouldn't go party on Broadway. To each their own. That is your business, you're grown. But if you're going to, please at least take the steps to be vigilant and protect yourself and protect the friends you're with. And I say that because don't go by yourself. I don't care if you're 6 foot tall and bulletproof. Don't go by yourself. Do not go to Nashville, downtown Broadway, any time of day by yourself. And I that is a statement I am making based off of my own research, which I have been deep in it for several days. And I feel like it is, I feel pretty confident in saying that don't do it. The buddy system, if your kids don't know it and they are frequenting this strip in Broadway, you have to make sure they are aware of what is the realities that they are exposing themselves to. It's not we don't live in a Disneyland where, everybody is just, looking out for each other, and you see, that is not the case at all in this world today, but it is especially not the case in downtown Nashville. It is absolutely terrifying to even begin to imagine my son being down there with his buddies and to not come home. I could not even perceive how to begin dealing with that. But then on top of it, when you have that gut instinct and you know that there's what happened is not what happened, and you can't get the only people that are able to do something about it to even consider looking into it. His mom, I heard her say, somebody quoted her earlier today on a news outlet that said that she is not saying that there is definitively foul play. She just wants a thorough investigation so she can have peace and know that it was completely 100% looked into, investigated, and that it was ruled out. And God bless it, that is her right. That's not asking for much. I mean, that is what you took an oath to do. How are you just going to refuse to investigate because of what? Lack of resources? Bullshit. Ask for help. You won't let help come in. That's suspicious in itself. You have other agencies offering to come in and assist, and you got this. No, you don't. If that's what you got this means, remind me to never ask you to be. That is absolutely asinine. And if you guys aren't aware, I'm going to show you guys a couple of news conferences just in the past month of my sheriff, Grady Judd, and see why I get so absolutely bent out of shape whenever I see shit like this because it blows my mind. I am not used to this. This is not police work in any sense that I've been exposed to in real life. And I am so sorry for the people that live there because there's no way you feel safe. No way. You've just had to adjust your life where, oh, we don't come outside after dark and we keep our door. That is no quality of life. And the persons responsible for protecting it are okay with it. There's no, I don't see no plans for change, no plan and set for how to make it safer, how to get, nothing advocating for change, just more and more deaths, more and more deaths. I mean, oh, it is, I don't even know where to begin on the different, I mean, they're not just dying from one thing. Everything that you can think of is running rampant in Nashville. Gangs, drugs, gun violence, I mean, everything that is bad and you don't want is spiked and up higher than anything you can imagine for it to be a tourist attraction like it is. People should be staying away from it like Mexico. But it's not, because it's not being put out there that it's not safe to be there, rather than, because that might hurt some people's pockets, which is disgusting that I'm even saying that out loud. I expect more from Nashville. I mean, I'm not to be offensive to people that live in different places, but come on, what happened to the good old boy system? Is this is what it is? Because there's nothing good old boy about that. Like, if you call 911, it's hit or miss if you're even going to show up, depending on where you're at. That is unacceptable, to have that much crime going on and to not have the police able to do anything about it. There's not even enough of them showing up because they don't feel safe, or they've been defunded, or something stupid that Biden has done. It just freaking just chaps my ass. I'm sorry, I'm the push play.
Cards pulled. Krista Rhodes and Rebecca Page say to them to the bust. With two visitors from Missouri telling Fox 17 News they too fell victim to the crimes. These people knew what they were doing. You know what I mean? They immediately had either our phones turned off or the SIM cards pulled. Krista Rhodes and Rebecca Page say they had their phones stolen from their purse downtown.
It was across my body, and so yeah, people are bumping into you constantly, so I didn't feel it or see it.
And Page says this isn't an isolated incident, adding that her sister had her phone stolen from her front pocket at the same bar on a previous trip to Lower Broadway.
I felt like we were paying pretty close attention because this has happened to us before, and it happened again.
Now, both girls say if they were to visit again, they'd hold their phones in their hand, as all incidents happen within minutes of being out.
Now, police are urging bar goers to use self-control over their cell phones and also never leave them unattended. Now, we did ask police if these all happened at the same bar or several down here. However, we have not heard back. Live in Nashville, Kylie Walker, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Welcome back, everybody. With warmer months ahead.
Real quick before I get on another rant, I would like to thank Rhonda Hauser. Thank you for your super sticker. Jim Coddington, thank you for your super sticker. And Kim O, thank you for all that you do. Thank you for your super chat. Thank you for all that you do. Thank you all so much. I did not want that to go forgotten about because you know how I get when I get on my rants, and I have it written on my hand and I
Metro Police
forgot.
arrested a man who
Thank you
allegedly
so much.
stabbed someone at a downtown Nashville bar on Valentine's Day. Police have identified the suspect now as Randolph Dwayne Sanders. The victim says he asked to buy a woman a drink. Sanders pulled out a knife then and stabbed him. Records show the victim needed 4 stitches. Sanders is now out of jail.
Okay, the reason I highlighted that one is because that was like a month before Riley went on his trip down there. This was Valentine's Day, this year, and and he was stabbed, and he's back out. Who's to say he wasn't back out there in the bars looking? You know what in the world? Ugh. Sorry about that, you guys. I had a phone call, and because my iPhone and my iMac I have them linked so that, I can keep notes and all that stuff. So if I don't turn it off beforehand, that will happen because if I get a phone call through my phone, it'll ring through my computer too, and it'll kick me off if I'm on a panel. So I just disabled that, and person calling me, I will call you back. So anyway, sorry about that. It won't happen again. I turned it off, or I disconnected it from being able to do that. Actually, what I did was put it on do not disturb. So sorry. Not my phone, my computer. But I should probably do my phone too. Anyways, back to business. Okay, here we go. The date on this is from February the 15th of 2024. So what day is it today? We are at the 29th. So maybe 2 weeks ago, if that. It's when this was posted. So this is an ongoing, this is it. Old news. It's not fake news. This is just what it is. It's happening
Broadway.
regularly. Okay. The headline for this says Nashville, Tennessee, a 31-year-old man is accused of touching multiple women inappropriately while on Broadway in downtown Nashville Thursday. Lovely, right? Just lovely. Lovely. Let's just go ahead and just put me in, coach. You were able to get groped, robbed, roofied. I mean, sounds like such a fun time. No, absolutely not. Like, what are you? But it's safe. There's no need for you to feel like it's not safe. That is just ignorant.
Is facing charges. According to an arrest report, officers were called to Broadway and 3rd Avenue on Thursday. Witnesses claim the suspect had touched at least 3 women on their backside. When confronted, the suspect told officers it wasn't an assault, but this was an apology, and the officers should let him go. He didn't, and he's now charged with misdemeanor assault.
What?
When you graduate.
Hold on. Let's get into that statement and what that actually means. It wasn't an assault, it was a apology. So that means that he obviously did something to offend these women, and this was his way of apologizing by smacking them on the butt. Because that is, that's the best way I can think of to say I'm sorry. How about keeping your fucking hands to yourself, weirdo? Jeez, I mean, first of all, what are we teaching our boys to grow up into men? That this is just disgusting, and no boys of mine are going to act like that, and ain't no men around here acting like that. Is atrocious. Like, you don't know this women. That is so disrespectful and gross and weird that it honestly, like, irks my ever loving soul. And that's probably the mildest of all of them that we're going to talk about. But however, it was recent and it was just so asinine that it made the list. Like, are you kidding me? That was what you told the police officer? Like, she should be thanking you for saying sorry? Like, what you want to? Yeah, sure. Thank you so much. How about stay out of my bubble and don't touch me at all? That would be appreciated. How about that? And you wouldn't have to say I'm sorry. And how about the words I'm sorry? Ever thought of that? Hell, what do I know? Maybe different times, I just got to catch up with the times. Said nobody ever. Come on. And why was he only charged with misdemeanor? And that's why he's going to be out there doing it again. Acting like he's God's gift to women. Like, do that shit around here. You fuck around and find out. I throat punch on every day that ends with Y. Just saying. I don't encourage violence, but I don't encourage that shit either. So we got to find out. We have to find a middle ground, like as a society, not like we as in like me and you. I just mean like as a whole. Ugh, I don't even know how we got to this much fuckery this fast. Like, it wasn't that long ago that, it was, I'm not going to say it was everywhere was always the safest place, but overall, just as a country, it was a pretty good, safe place to live, unless you were in certain areas that you kind of knew what you were getting into just as a whole. But now it's like, there's not a state that's not that area. Like, it's everywhere. The area is here. Like, here as in United States. Like, what the hell? The statistics of just everything bad are horrible. 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 And no end in sight. I'm sorry. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I don't see much being done with the people that are higher enough up that can actually change anything. They don't even talk about it. They skid around the questions when they get asked about it. And that's another thing that chaps my ass. Any Hoosiers, let's move on. Next. Because there's a bunch. And I tried to keep it, to honestly, like, there's so many of them, like, I couldn't cover them all in the next month. If I talked about it every day, all day for 6 hours a day, there would still be cases that I missed, didn't get into, or overlooked. That's how bad it is, you guys. I'm not even kidding. I'm not even kidding.
IXL helps my children learn at their own pace, starting off with easier questions and slowly moving.
A woman is facing charges for trying to rob another woman at 5th and Broadway. The victim was just sitting outside the Cava restaurant talking on the phone when another woman tried grabbing her Ray-Bans and her cash. Then another woman came up and pushed her. Police have surveillance video. They say that led them to their suspect.
Do those business owners feel a sense of responsibility to help prevent crime and help folks feel safe?
Broadway businesses cracking down on crime.
That's right. Tourists tell Fox 17 News that crime downtown is a growing concern, including frequent phone thefts, which we have been reporting on. Also, some people being drugged at bars. Fox 17 News' Jackie Del Pilar now live downtown after hearing what the business owners are doing to keep their customers safe.
Scott and Megan, just about every night of the week, it looks like this on Broadway. Lots of crowds, folks coming out to enjoy Music City, especially this week with the NHL awards going on just a couple of blocks that way. Now, business owners say they're investing millions of dollars and increasing security measures to make sure tourists like these ones here feel safe while they're visiting. It's Monday afternoon at The Stage on Broadway, and tourists are streaming in, getting a taste of Music City.
And the talent pool is just, it's incredible.
Brad Sanderson has owned the stage since 2001 and has seen downtown Nashville grow to the international tourist destination it is today.
We were getting a much wilder crowd than we were used to in the past.
But the growth comes with challenges. Metro Police get regular calls about crime downtown, from rowdy tourists getting out of hand to thieves stealing phones and purses.
Are there issues? There's always going to be issues. And as we grow as a city, we've got to figure out how to solve those problems.
Rob Mortensen is the director of the Broadway Entertainment Association. He says business owners are aware of these issues and the threat it poses to Nashville's reputation.
One of the things that does not play well with tourists is crime. And so there's not a single business in this city that is not doing something about it.
Mortensen says business owners are investing millions of dollars each year to high-tech security measures, including surveillance cameras and multiple security guards on each floor. What are the businesses doing to help people feel safe when they're at their establishment?
Yep, and I won't mention names, but I've been inside some of these facilities. They've got a security system like you would not believe.
Sanderson says he takes similar measures at the stage to keep the peace and to keep the tourists coming back each year. Now, while businesses are responsible for what happens inside their doors, they depend on Metro leaders for what happens outside on the streets. Business owners tell me they have a strong partnership with Metro Police and other departments to ensure safety all around. Reporting live downtown, I'm Jackie Del Pilar with Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
A controversial school
I felt violated, like that somebody had even reached their hands into my personal property and stole it.
In Operation Crime and Justice, crooks making themselves at home on Broadway.
Fox 17 News dug through Metro Police records, got to the data to find out where you are more likely to become a victim. Fox 17 News Peyton.
Listen to this, you guys. Oh my God.
Found and more.
Keep in mind, okay, before they say this, because obviously I've already watched this, but the what is it? Because the rooftop bars, they're all connected. It's like I can show you guys like a 3D tour or whatever, but I mean they're all owned by the same business or the same LLC, but they're also connected. They literally, like, the door, like, you can get to one from the other inside. You're not supposed to or whatever. I guess it's up for like employees only according to the reviews. But Jason Aldean's and Luke's 32 are literally like connected to each other, and they're owned by the same company, so, or the same LLC. So just keep that in mind as we listen to this statistical analyzation by this investigative journalist. And this was posted on Fox 17 Nashville on June the 23rd of 2023 at 1:07 p.m. And then it was updated on June the 26th of 2023 at 5:52 p.m. So we're talking less than a year ago. So let's listen.
Fox 17 News Peyton Hughes live downtown with what she found and, more importantly, perhaps, what Metro Police are doing with the information.
So, Metro police officers tell us that Jason Aldean's has the most calls when it comes to theft, 141 calls in 1 year.
For local Victoria Magadami, a night out on Broadway ended up with her phone stolen, taken right out of her purse inside a busy downtown bar.
I felt someone bump into me and I went to go and close it and it like closed automatically. I was like, wait a minute, that feels very empty. And I opened it up and my phone was gone.
Magadami says it happened within a matter of seconds.
I think the scariest part too was the fact that like I'm not paying attention, yet this person is eyeing me down. Like I felt like a predator was watching its prey.
She's not alone. Metro Police arrested a 54-year-old man this week found with 17 stolen phones. Tourists we talked to say they're extremely vigilant when on Broadway.
I put my cards in places I can only find them. I'm like, always have your purse in front of you, have your stuff in your pocket, be conscientious.
Fox 17 News dug into police calls surrounding theft for popular Broadway bars from June of last year to June of this year. Jason Aldean's topped the list at 141, with second on the list coming in at 34. Metro Police say they beefed up security, parking a marked car outside of Jason Aldean's. Now, Metro shared some tips for people when out on Broadway. Head over to our website at fox17.com to get more information. Reporting live downtown, Peyton Muse, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Okay, this one is dated from February 20th of 2024. So a little over a month ago, about a month and a week ago. And this was posted by WKRN.com, which is a Nashville news station, news channel 2.
In a Spring Hill police arrest Romanian nationals accused in a multi-state theft ring. Andy Cordan has been tracking what is a major investigation here. Andy?
Hey there, Mark. You know, Spring Hill police are working possible clues that this same group hid beauty supply stores up and down the I-65 corridor from Indianapolis to Nashville to Spring Hill.
Thursday evening, Spring Hill officers approached the Romanian nationals in the van.
Franklin called us and they said that you guys were at the Franklin Coles and said that you were driving the car and they went inside and tried to steal items, okay?
21-year-old Isabella Velcu is behind the wheel.
You speak English?
A 15-year-old girl is in the back seat. She's with an infant.
What language do you speak? Romanian.
According to police, when this man saw officers, he left the van and walked away.
No, you don't speak English? All right, your shoes are untied. So you speak English? You speak a little bit of English.
Police checked the back of the van. They find all this. You're looking at $27,500 worth of what police say is stolen beauty supplies. Investigators say there are tags on these items from stores all along the I-65 corridor, from as far away as Indianapolis.
She confirms that it's them, but she recognized both girls. They had the baby carrier and they were unloading product into the thing around the store. They have a police report on it. They have video. Ulta Beauty in 881 Hardigan Street in Indianapolis.
In the end, the suspects are arrested.
You have the right to remain silent.
And a Romanian translator is used to read them their rights.
And according to police, the two women, they were seen on video inside the stores, so they were charged with possession of stolen property. Now, the man has not been charged yet. I'm told the investigation, it's still in its early stages. Let's send it back to you.
Is found dead in a creek. A tragic ending in the quest to find 44-year-old Emily Bradley, with friends and family now focused on finding her killer. News 2's Stephanie Langston has been following this story from the beginning, and she has the latest on the investigation.
Well, loved ones, of course, eager to get answers in Emily Bradley's homicide, as Sunday marks 1 month since someone passing by the area here on West Hamilton Avenue and Buena Vista Pike found her body in Whites Creek. The medical examiner saying she suffered blunt force trauma. And while her car was recovered a couple of days later, they say little information has been released since.
Each day goes on, it's grueling. And we just don't want Emily's name to be forgotten. We don't want her face to be forgotten. We don't want her legend to be forgotten. And we don't want her case to fall behind the back burner or under the rug. We want her case to be treated as Emily treated everybody else, and that is with dignity and loyalty and devotion. And she was relentless, and we're going to be relentless. We're not going to stop.
And while they continue seeking closure, they want Emily remembered for her vibrant, loving spirit, while inviting the community out for a candlelight vigil that'll be held here near where her body was found Monday night at 7 o'clock. Reporting from North Nashville.
To prevent Tonight, the family of Riley Strain said goodbye, while efforts to prevent another death like his are just starting. Good evening and welcome to News 2 at 5. I'm Bob Mueller.
And I'm Haley Wilkes. Now, Riley Strain was laid to rest earlier today in his hometown of Springfield, Missouri, just 1 week after his body was recovered from the Cumberland River, and 3 weeks after he disappeared following a night out on Broadway.
As a result of Riley's death, work is underway to make downtown Nashville safer. News 2's Adam Mintzer reports.
The story of 22-year-old Riley Strain captured hearts in Nashville and around the country. Metro Council member Jacob Coupin included.
A lot of people saw ourselves in Riley, right? This was an individual who went downtown to have a good time with some friends, ended up leaving a bar, walking down the streets, trying to find their way home with a tragic outcome.
Coupin's district includes the Cumberland River Walk, the last place Strain was seen before his body was found in the Cumberland River.
Hundreds of thousands of people who come through our city regularly have a safe experience, enjoy themselves, go home totally fine. So I want to emphasize that point, but at the same time, to me, one death is one too many.
To prevent people from falling into the river and deaths like Riley's, Coupin has proposed a resolution with 2 parts. One gives multiple agencies a year to come up with proposed changes to increase safety, security, and cleanliness along the river.
The challenge with the riverfront is we have so many entities working in a small space. So if you take, for example, the area that Riley disappeared, a section of that is NDOT property. Another section is Metro Parks. As you go down to the riverfront, you've got the Corps of Engineers.
The resolution also calls for immediate improvements to the area, like regular trash cleanups, more lighting, more services for people without a home, and additional fencing and permanent barriers.
And right here, the last place Riley Strain was seen on surveillance video, there's 3 different types of barriers separating the sidewalk from that steep cliff leading to the Cumberland. There's the fence right here. Just as it ends, there is a wooden beam that somebody could go under or over and go directly into the Cumberland, slipping down that cliff. And then further back, there's a low-lying stone barrier.
We don't want to wait a year and have anything else happen along that riverfront. We want to put that safety in place immediately.
And Coupin says with so many changes coming to this part of Nashville, like the East Bank development, it's crucial they make this area safer now. In Nashville, Adam Mintzer, News 2.
A large-scale organized theft of cell phone operation in downtown Nashville bars. Peyton Kennedy's over at the Metro Nashville Police Headquarters with the international twist we mentioned earlier.
Yeah, about 50 cell phones stolen in just one weekend on Broadway. That caught detectives' attention. Metro Police say the uptick led to the discovery of phones being shipped out of state and even overseas to China. So take a look at these photos that were taken by police. They say they were notified of a suspicious package, opened it through a search warrant, and found the bubble-wrapped phones. On Monday, they say Jonathan Nunez Pinilla of New York came to the UPS on Lebanon Pike asking the whereabouts of the package. Nearby detectives detained Pinilla as he was getting into his Jeep, along with Luisa Vargas Daza, who was also in the car. Police say Pinilla admitted to being involved in the theft, and Vargas Diaz is charged with felony theft for conspiracy with Pinilla to steal a backpack from the Mellow Mushroom restaurant on Broadway in October. We're told a similar theft of 27 stolen phones, they were found in November before they could make it out of Nashville. Reporting in Nashville, Peyton Kennedy, News 2.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to News 2 at 5. I'm Bob Mueller.
And I'm Haley Wilgus. 16 months of police work, countless man-hours, sophisticated forensic analysis. Metro Police are working closely with the FBI, announcing the arrest of 6 people accused of more than 100 robberies. Their targets, mostly Hispanic families in the metro area. This bust will have long-lasting implications. News 2's Andy Cordan takes us inside the investigation in tonight's Crime Tracker Alert.
This is one of the dozen areas that Metro Police say the crime syndicate would often target, and their victims, often Hispanic families who they believed often had cash and were reluctant to contact the police.
This is an intelligence-led case. This group was extremely sophisticated.
According to Metro Police, from 2017 through 2019, a crime syndicate composed of 6 suspects targeted Hispanic victims all across Nashville.
Most of them are around the 27 to 29-year-old range. And during some interviews, they indicated that they'd been robbing people since high school.
Investigators tell me the members of this organized crime operation reportedly robbed people at gunpoint, in parking lots, even breaking into their apartments to terrorize them and steal their valuables.
Sometimes they would climb up to the second floor and climb into, go make entry through somebody's residence through their sliding glass door that way.
Detectives tell me the syndicate members have been robbing people since high school. Some of them have military training, and the group reportedly used counter-surveillance measures to avoid police while committing 150 robberies in a 2-year time span, while stealing an estimated $150,000 in cash and belongings from victims.
Defendants had prior military experience. They did counter surveillance. They were able to rob citizens in Nashville for 3 years that we know about and never got caught. They knew how the police responded to calls. They would drive from Clarksville down to Nashville and perpetrate robberies and rental vehicles. I think there's a huge satisfaction for the victims. We have a very vulnerable community that was targeted. We have a group that would go into people's houses, take their entire life savings, their hard-earned money, and they went and they partied on that money.
So in the end, 6 co-conspirators facing 110 indictments over a 2-year period, all now facing serious jail time. In Nashville, Andy Cordan, News 2.
And police say there could be more victims in this case. Today, officers thanked these robbery victims for their bravery in stepping forward.
I know you're going through a lot.
Scamming unsuspecting shoppers out of thousands. 2 men in an SUV scamming unsuspecting shoppers out of thousands.
And that's what Murfreesboro police say has been going on in their city. News 2's Sarah Smith explains.
Murfreesboro police want you to take a good look at these men and their SUV, a silver 2023 Ford Expedition with Texas plates. Investigators say they're running a scam.
They're claiming to work for a company called Sound Vision, and throughout the investigation, we found that business is not legitimate.
One victim tells officers these guys came up to him January 30th in the Lowe's parking lot. Their sales pitch, the projector and projector screen they needed to get rid of, worth $12,000. They were only asking $1,500. The victim buys it.
These men are passing these higher valued, higher quality items on as legitimate when they're actually replacing the items inside with cheaper ones. And that's where the fraud comes in.
The buyer not realizing what happened until later.
After he got home, he started doing some research online and found on Reddit that there was a scam called a white van scam going on, where people would sell items in the parking lot of local businesses.
Police say there's a lesson to be learned here. If you want to make a transaction like this, do it in the PD parking lot. They have safe exchange zones.
9 times out of 10, if you're a criminal, what are the chances that you're willing to come to the parking lot of a police department with cameras and officers walking around to make a transaction that ends up being a scam?
Officers worry they may have more victims out there. Give them a call if you have any information. In Murfreesboro, Sarah Smith, News 2.
Crime Tracker alert this morning. Police are searching for a woman accused of stealing hundreds of dollars from people on Broadway. Elizabeth Lane is live at Metro Police headquarters with a look at some of the ways she's accused of targeting victims.
Nikki, good morning. And police believe the suspect in this case was specifically targeting men on Lower Broadway. I'll walk you through this. Here's a photo of the suspect, Teresa Lynn King. She's wanted for felony theft, identity theft, and fraudulent use of a credit card. This first started way back in April. Police say the victim in this case discovered his phone and credit cards were missing after visiting a Broadway bar. Video surveillance shows King using the victim's card at Walmart, purchasing more than $800 of merchandise and gift cards. Now then, in early July, King is accused of pretending to be a rideshare driver on Broadway. When the victim tried getting out of the car she was driving, she took his phone and wallet. Then most recently, King approached a victim on Broadway, striking up a conversation before asking for his iPhone. She said she wanted to add her Snapchat to his phone. Instead, police believe she took off with it. The next morning, investigators say she transferred $400 to herself. Right now, police still searching for the suspect, Teresa King. If you've seen her, if you know where she is, you're asked to call Crime Stoppers immediately. Reporting live at Metro Nashville Police Headquarters, Elizabeth Lane, News 2.
I'm Nicole Smith at the WKRN.com alert desk. 2 men are facing federal charges after authorities found fentanyl and cocaine in a downtown Nashville high-rise. According to the U.S. Attorney's Office, Anthony Gloss and Brandon Osteen, known as Snake, are charged with conspiring to possess with intent to distribute fentanyl and cocaine. Multiple search warrants were executed, including one in the 1200 Broadway apartment building. The search turned up more than 4 pounds of fentanyl, nearly 35 pounds of cocaine, approximately $350,000 in cash, and several guns. Investigators say it's evidence of a large-scale narcotics distribution operation. The TBI, DEA, Murfreesboro Police, and Metro Nashville Police all worked the case. Remember, News 2 brings you breaking news around the clock at WKRN.com.
Order Pizza Hut now and get a free
For a group of visitors in Nashville.
But this bachelorette party says their dream trip turned into a nightmare when a group of people walked into their Airbnb, stole their wallets and their rental car.
News Channel 5's Kelsey Gibbs spoke with the women who have a warning for others.
It left a bad taste in your mouth about if it's safe to rent an Airbnb again.
It was a trip to Nashville Alyssa Larson, her family and friends were looking forward to.
It definitely didn't end the way that I wanted it to.
The group of women booked Larson's bachelorette party in Nashville and stayed at this Airbnb near 12 South in Edgewood. On Saturday, they headed out to celebrate on Lower Broadway. By midnight, some of the women went back to the rental to get some sleep when their dreams turned into a living nightmare.
When we came home around 3 a.m., that's when we noticed that the front door was open, the door to the garage was open, and the back door was open.
While 8 women were sleeping, doorbell cameras show several young men walking inside and one believed to be holding a gun. The woman says they walked out with their purses, wallets, and even the rental car.
It's scary to think because they did just walk in and we know that the door was locked. So, I don't know what's going on over there, but there's no way I'm renting a house. I will be in a hotel. I'm not risking my life to go have fun in a bar.
Do you feel that bachelorette parties are being targeted here in Nashville?
That does put a huge target on your back.
Even Inside Edition reported a similar incident last month involving a group of bachelorettes from Texas. They also came back to their Nashville rental to learn they were victims of a burglary. These women just hope something is done about these short-term rental break-ins before someone is seriously hurt.
It just scares me to know, even when the cops showed up, it kind of just seemed like it was just another day. But to think that they're out there doing this to people and it could go completely differently than it did for us and somebody could end up hurt or killed. It's just scary to know that really nothing is being done.
In Nashville, Kelsey Gibbs, News Channel 5.
Thanks, Kelsey. The rental car was recovered on Tuesday. The suspects are still on the run. Airbnb tells us in a statement, this violent criminal behavior is abhorrent, and we are in contact with both the host and the guest to offer them support during this time.
Okay, so while I was deep diving yesterday and today and the day before that, I stumbled upon this website. Okay, it's called roofiedinnashville.com. I'm not even kidding. It's a website that is designed, structured, and used for a hub of people that are drugged in Nashville, Tennessee bars, to come and share their story, to learn about other people that it's happened to find resources about what to do if you think it's happened to you or if you have been a victim of it. It's just a one-stop shop for a problem that is really, really, really being overlooked in downtown Nashville. So shout out to I believe it's 2 or 3 women. Don't quote me. Let me go back down here to about. We are investigating the drugging of Nashville visitors. We would like to hear your story so we can add it to our mountain of evidence. Roofie investigators, 301 Broadway, Nashville, Tennessee, 37201, United States. So they're a group of private investigators that are women, and they focus specifically on being drugged and roofied in bars in Nashville. Let us know if you want someone to call you. Open 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. They have a contact. Tell us if you were drugged in Nashville. Forum down here at the bottom of the website. They also have this little chat thing. If you click it, it's a 24-hour chat thing that they, if you have any questions, you can ask it, send a message, and they'll get back to you within a few hours. The investigators are still as in STILL, watch, WATCHPI.com. and you can find out about their private investigating business and why they got into what they have got into and all that good stuff, where they're located, and if you would like to hire them specifically, blah, blah, blah. However, very awesome what they are doing here. Not awesome that something like this should exist or has to exist, but however, I'm glad that somebody is trying to get out ahead of it. So let's just take a scroll through this website and check it out. They have All Post, Downtown Nashville, Nashville Bars, and Roofied on Broadway. That's their little like subcategories that you can click on. So we're just going to go through All Post and check it out. So this one says March 21st, 2024, a downtown Nashville bar roofied on Broadway. Drugged at Tootsie's. This has to stop. Let's click on continue reading. See what it says. This was from March 21st of 2024, downtown Nashville. There is a bar called Tootsie's, I believe is how that's pronounced, Tootsie's. So it says, in the fall, I had went to a concert on Broadway with one of my friends. We had intended on getting a room for the night in Nashville. After the concert, we decided to go check out some other bars. I had friends who were at Tootsie's, so I decided to go there while my friend went to another bar. While at the concert, I had drank 2 to 3 beers, but was far from drunk or intoxicated. Once I arrived at Tootsie's, I walked inside and decided to grab a shot of vodka before finding my friends. I walked to the bar and got the shot from a female bartender. She put the shot glass in my hand, I decided I was going to walk back outside and smoke. I walked just outside the door and stood next to the male security bouncer. There was a little wood place on the wall to sit drinks. I sipped my shot there long enough to turn away from the wind to light my cigarette. I turned around and grabbed the shot and drank it. I remembered taking 1 or 2 puffs from my cigarette. The next thing I remember is laying on the ground and a male wearing a brown cowboy boots and a tan cowboy hat asking if I had a phone. I don't remember if I said yes or shook my head, but he then asked me where it was, and I must have said or showed him my crossbody purse. He asked if he could get my phone. I'm not sure if I told him he could or couldn't, but he got my cell phone and called the last person I had called, which was my cousin. We lived 2 hours away from Nashville, but she started on her way there. My friend who was in Nashville with me either came looking for me or was walking the strip and seen me. I'm unsure how much time had passed before she found me. I was carried to my car and laid in the back seat waiting on my cousin to arrive to get me. Once I was put in her car and we were heading home, I had been told that I tried to open the car door several times going down Interstate 65. I don't remember any of this. I'm not sure on the exact time we got home, but I'm guessing it was around 3 or 4 a.m. I had to have help into the house and getting in bed. I slept from then until around 10 p.m. that night. I tried to get up and eat around 10 p.m., but got sick and went back to bed and slept until the next afternoon. So, you guys, let's think about this for a second. Let's think about what she said. So, she had a drink already poured by the bartender, and she took it outside with her to smoke because there's no smoking inside the bar. She's standing next to the bouncer, the security guard, which has to give you, as a person, a patron of this establishment, or just a tour, or she's not even a tourist. She's from 2 hours away. So, just as a person, you have some kind of sense of security and safety because you're standing next to the bouncer, right? That's what you think. They have this little wooden spot that's for you to put your drinks. She literally turned her head for like 5 seconds to spark the lighter and away from the wind and turned back. And that quick, there was somebody had already slipped in there, roofied her drink, and was gone. What and for what purpose? I mean, it doesn't sound like she got robbed or anything. Like, are these people just getting off on the possibility of people getting hurt or, like, or what in the world? Let's see what else is on here. March 21st, 2024, downtown Nashville roofied on Broadway. So this says, be aware that there are individuals downtown Nashville that are there to perpetuate crimes on visitors. Some of these individuals may be working at the bar as a bartender or part of the wait staff. Turn off the facial recognition feature on your phone. Bring drink covers, bring test strips, and bring date rape drug test stickers and use them. One rule of the thumb we use to order a beer unopened until the server gets it to you. Videotape the bartender, the bouncer, and any friendly people. Everyone is taking videos and photos, so it is easy to be casual about it. Send your videos to your email in case you lose your phone. Criminals do not want you to video record them. If you feel like you have been drugged, tell someone near you immediately. Request an ambulance. You can always cancel it if you were wrong. Take one or more sober persons along to keep an eye on the group. If you don't have anyone, we will be happy to provide you with a reasonably costed sober investigator to go with you downtown. Here's the link to book someone for your night out. Wear or carry real-time tracking device. We recommend this one. It's a little bulky, but worth it if you get taken. The real-time trackers have a history. One of the testimonies of a female was she lost 4 hours of her memory and woke up 10 miles from where she started alone. The locals know that the downtown Nashville bars have the crowd, the loud music, and a bar 10 feet, every 10 feet. But this is not the best Nashville has to offer. Go check out the Gulch We Love Whiskey Kitchen because the cocktails are amazing. They will make the drink right in front of you if you like. One kitchen has really good food and great prices. Steak is pretty safe. Oh, an STK steak is pretty safe so far. When you are in a big crowd, you are a target. Please take someone sober with your group. Take a photo of where you parked anytime you feel unsafe. Tell a cop or jump in an Uber. Take a photo. Okay, if you feel like there's a strange person around you, video that person's face if you can. Then jump in an Uber and go a few blocks. If you think your drink is tainted, ask for a replacement. If they won't give you one, go somewhere else. We have noticed that newer bars have the biggest issues, maybe because people are packing in those new bars. Sometimes the police get a bad rap, but the police downtown Nashville are here to help. Downtown police officers saved my life one night when I was walking distracted and started to step off the curb. I nearly stepped out in front of a moving car. Stay safe and take care of your friends. I hope this helps. Okay, we're going to do a couple more of these and then I'm going to wrap this up and I'm going to continue it tomorrow. Cousin, if you fumble nuts, I call him cousin for you guys that aren't familiar, he will be live in 26 minutes and hopefully I will see all you guys over there. You always know if you're familiar, he has the best Friday night shows ever, always fun and laughs and good times with good people. And I don't doubt it will be any different over there tonight. So I hope to see you guys over there. So we're going to do a couple more of these, and that should put us in about right around the time to go over to Cousins. So Metro Police advice if you have been roofied. This was on oh, and if anybody's in here, really? I wonder why. I'm so sorry, Bia. That's weird. Try maybe logging out of YouTube and logging back in. And if that doesn't work, I would even go a step further of uninstalling it from your device and reinstalling it. But it should work by just logging out and logging back in. And I hope that fixes it. But let me know if it doesn't, and I will definitely try to troubleshoot it with you before we go to Cousins. Because nothing worse than being somewhere and not being able to chat. That's the worst. Oh, thank you so much for your super sticker, Hotspot. And thank you so much for your super sticker again, Hotspot. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I don't think turning your phone off and on will fix it because it might be a YouTube problem. So I would when Puff Muffin and I was having that problem in, I believe it was Twin Mama's chat not too long ago. We thought we were blocked and or somebody had us blocked. That's what it was because we couldn't see them and they were saying that they didn't have us blocked. And then I went to my settings and I switched over to incognito mode. And then I switched right back to not incognito mode, and whatever reason doing that, like fixed the glitch, and people were able to see me, and I was able to see them. So that's another recommendation. But signing out and signing back in is another one. But if neither one of those work, just come back and I will help. And Hotspot says update apps, unsub and resub. That is another good suggestion. But if it's a glitch in chat, I think it's probably just a just one of them things. Ooh. Sorry, you guys. I just yawned in your ear. That was so unattractive. Okay, so this one is for March the 20th of 2024. Says advice if you've been roofied downtown Nashville on Broadway. If you feel like you've been drugged in a bar, it is very important to let the police know. Here's a link to file the free online report with the Davidson County, Tennessee. And if you click the link, it takes you to how to file a report online, which is awesome. This is a really, really resourceful website. Like I can really, really, really shout out to the people that thought to do this, and it is really like genius and awesome and so full of resources of what to do, how to prevent it, how to avoid it, how to recognize it. It's really just awesome. I can't get through all of it tonight because we only have a few minutes for we're going to go to fumbles, but I absolutely am going to dive deeper into this with you guys tomorrow because I really want you guys to see like the steps that you can take and how to protect yourself and how to protect your children and make them aware and really just get the word out there about this website because I stumbled upon it on accident. So it's not being talked about. And I really think this is like the best thing I've came across since I've been in this rabbit hole of what is going on in Broadway. So let's keep going. If you don't want to make a police report, there's a way to report a crime anonymously by calling Crime Stoppers. And then if you click that, there's a link to that as well, and it'll take you directly to where you need to go. So these hyperlinks are just really awesome. So again, I really can't stress this enough how amazing this website is. So the police are able to pull camera footage if the victims file a report. Camera footage for downtown bars is erased after 7 days if the police doesn't request it. Okay. If downtown bars will not give video footage to private investigators. So keep that in mind. You have to have a police report to get any evidence. And if you don't do it within the first week, it's gone. And the police report helps you get past the, we don't, because they don't have to release it to you, and they won't. So if the first thing you need to do, if you even suspect it, is to call and file a police report. Okay. So next is to get a blood test and a urine test to see what drug was used. Then follow up with the police about what drug was used. If you go to the ER, get a printout of your blood work before you leave. If the ER did not test you for drugs, please request a urine analysis before you leave. Next, go to our website, write us or give us a call, tell us your story, and we will have our own investigation going. The more information we can gather, the closer we get to the truth. Gather all videos from everyone in your group. Compare notes with your group to see if anyone else was a victim. If you want to send videos to our office, we will be happy to preserve the video. Call the club where you think it happened. Ask for the manager only. Call Monday around 1 p.m. Most clubs ask you to leave a message. Some have an option to call security. Record the call. Thank you for taking the time to read this. Godspeed, Renee. That is a very, very, very specific of what you can do and how to do it and to how to not lose. It's like that is Brody. Okay. Let's go here. Okay, this says St. Patrick's Day, March of 2024. March 20th, 2024 is when this was posted. And it says, I had 2 screwdrivers. This was at the Coyote Ugly, drugged March 17th of 2024. I had 2 screwdrivers at home before I went to Coyote Ugly. The first drink I had was a Crown and Coke served to me by a female Asian bartender. In a short time, I was a wreck. I was with a group of 20 people. We went to Doc Holliday's next. While everyone was inside Doc Holliday's, I walked away without telling anyone. I ended up at Whiskey Row trying to use the bathroom when my group found me. Mind you, I had only had 3 drinks all day, but I was off balance. So the last bar we went to, Whiskey Row, they would not let me in because they said I was too drunk. Well, I am a seasoned drinker, so 3 cocktails should not have made me feel the way I was feeling. I was not drunk. I was off balance, so we went home after only 4 hours downtown. We arrived at Coyote Ugly at 1 p.m., and I was messed up by 1:30 p.m. We left the downtown area at 5 p.m. I went home where I slept 17 hours straight, and I felt like I had been hit by a train. After I woke up, I found out that one of the ladies in our group was also drugged, but we are not sure if she was drugged at Coyote Ugly or not. When she woke up, she had a splitting headache and felt terrible. Hashtag Coyote Ugly, hashtag drugged, hashtag roofied in Nashville, hashtag still watch investigations. So this is February 22nd of 2022. But it wasn't posted until March the 20th of 2024. Jack Ruby's. On February 22 of 2022, my boyfriend and I went to Jack Ruby's for dinner. I got a bourbon drink and he got a Moscow Mule. When they brought our drinks, they tried to give my boyfriend mine. I think they assumed the guy would be the one ordering bourbon. By the time dinner was over, I felt very out of control and could barely walk. We went to play afterwards and I couldn't see. I lost all vision. We had to leave at intermission and had to practically carry me. He had to practically carry me to the hotel. Once we got there, I passed out for 2 hours and woke up with an ice pick headache. At that time, I felt and acted drunk. So we thought that was what happened. But the next day, nothing added up. I only had one drink at that restaurant. I am a decent drinker, and the only other time I ever lost vision like this was when I was drugged. I think they wanted my boyfriend to be drugged so they could rob us. You guys hear this? Hold on a second. Let me go politely tell my dog to shut. I'm gonna mute for 1 second. Sorry about that. I just got into an argument with my wiener dog, and he thought he was gonna win. Backtalk me, little son of a. All right, we got about 16 minutes until fumble, so we'll read a couple more. So this says Kid Rock's January 2023. 2 women drugged, March 17th of 2024. Upon arriving at our hotel, we were taken away in an ambulance and woke up in the hospital not knowing why the heck we were there. From a TikTok post. This was a night we will never forget. I know my limits and it was not alcohol. If these women see this, please reach out to me. I'd like to formally thank you. I don't know if we would still be here if it wasn't for them. From being trafficked or who knows what, I believe me and my cousin were drugged and this guy may have been in on it. Link to TikTok here. So it says, I'm looking for 2 women who were in downtown Nashville January of last year, 2023. They quite possibly saved our lives last night. From being trafficked or who knows what, I believe me and my cousin were drugged and this guy may have been in on it. There was a Chinese guy, I believe he was the one who put something in our drink shortly after we both blacked out at the same time. I know my limits and I know this was not alcohol. I fell into a ball leaving Kid Rock's and my cousin was being pushed out with a tight grip on her hip by the Chinese guy. There were these 2 women. The one asked if that guy was with us and thankfully a no was made out of us. These women helped us find our way back to our hotel in an Uber. They even let my cousin throw up in her purse upon arriving at our hotel. We were taken away in the ambulance and woke up in the hospital not knowing why the heck we were there. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts after seeing those Riley Strain videos. I'm beyond myself. That could have been us. Hashtag Riley Strain, hashtag Nashville, hashtag Riley Strain, Nashville, downtown bars, Kid Rock's honky-tonk, downtown Nashville, scary, missing, Nash Vegas, Nashville, private investigators, still watch PI, and drink covers are the hashtags. So let's check out the TikTok. That's scary. So roofied in Nashville, February of 2024. That's someone taking a piece of you. Nashville roofie. Nashville, Tennessee. 1 out of every 6 women in this country have been a victim of R or attempted R, according to the institute that investigates that. It is a challenge that's come to the forefront in Middle Tennessee, with survivors sharing their stories, hoping to help others. Tori Reasoner doesn't feel good or feel safe going downtown anymore. She called herself the mom of her friend group, making sure everyone else was okay. But when the Goodelstonville native decided to go out on Broadway on Halloween weekend, everything changed. I'm never the type to ever black out. Like, I don't, of course, I drove. I'm not going to be the one to get completely belligerent drunk. Reasoner says she left her drink with her friends for a few minutes. I went to the bathroom and I remember coming back to the table and picking up my drink, and I guess I don't really remember much afterward. I was just kind of blank. She doesn't remember anything other than waking up on her front porch the next morning with her wallet missing. I had text and calls asking me where I was and tracking my location, and they saw I was at home, but nobody knew where I went. Someone found her wallet on the interstate, which was empty except her ID and social, with mud all over it. I don't know who I was with, what I was doing, how long I was from the bar to my house. I'm angry mostly because you're supposed to feel safe with yourself and it hurts. She says she didn't file a report. Before talking to Fox 17 News, she really didn't talk about what happened to her because it was that traumatic. I've seen stories, obviously, where you file a report, you go to the hospital, you get checked, and it never goes anywhere. You wait, and it's a waiting game, and at that point, there are 4 or 5 more victims, and there are some in the same predicament, and at what point, it's like, what's the point? So where's the city going? What is the city doing to help when these incidents happen? In 2018, the SA Center became a safe bar trainer for Tennessee. The initiative works with the local bars and restaurants to raise awareness about alcohol's role in SA and engages bar owners and staff in bystander intervention. For years, Fox 17 News reporting has shown only 2 bars in the Broadway area, Teddy's Tavern and Whiskey Bent Saloon, were a part of the program. In the past few weeks, Friends in Low Places and Cerveza Jack's officially joined. This month, Tootsie's, Luke's 32 Bridge, FGL House, Jason Aldean's, and Miranda Lambert's Casa Rosa announced they will also become safe bars. Why do you think it took longer to get some bars and restaurants on board? Asked Fox 17 News' Amanda Chin. I think there was some misconception about having the program, that if we train, are we saying that we have a safety problem versus using this as a prevention measures, because that's what this is, says Council Member Joy Stiles, the chair of Women's. Benton McDonough, Nashville's night mayor, believes every single bar should take the training. Do you feel there should be other initiatives to alleviate the date R problem? Asked Chin. It's something that we're trying to be proactive about. And I know, speaking with the SA Center, they think that we are doing right. What we are doing right now is being proactive and trying to hit off any sort of issue that we see in a lot of big cities now, says McDonough. The reason she doesn't come on Reasoner says that she doesn't go on Broadway anymore because she's too paranoid. It's hard to process. Like, I feel the emotion and I don't want to deal with it. So I kind of, so it kind of just takes a piece of you. Council member Stiles says that they are now working on expanding the Safe Bar program to districts where each council member will talk with restaurants and bars in their area to become a certified safe bar. And you know that saying, sometimes it takes a tragedy to make a change. And it's sad, but that is the truth of the reality. So here we go. Probably a couple more, maybe 1 or 2 more. Let's see. Fumble starts in about 9 minutes, so probably 1 more. So says, I seriously thought I was dying in July of 2023. This was not posted. Now, a common theme I'm seeing here, these are all stories that happened like in last year or years prior, some even as far as 2022, and they've all been posted in the last month in March, because this story with Riley is compelled people to come forward and tell their stories. And or feel comfortable coming and telling their stories or whatever the case may be, but they had kept quiet until, the March. So this says I was seriously thought I was dying in July of 2023, but posted on March the 13th of 2024, downtown Nashville, roofied on Broadway. A Florida-based hairstylist, Haley Elliott, claims that she was slipped a date R drug at a popular Nashville bar owned by a prominent country music star. Elliott writes in a text overlay of her video, "Be safe, girlies. I was just roofied at Luke Bryan's bar." What's more, Elliott claimed that upon receiving medical attention, local healthcare professionals said they've come across more alleged roofie encounters from guests who frequented this particular bar than any other spot in Nashville. Did you guys hear what I just said? The medical staff said that they've came across more victims that come in, patients that have been roofied that frequented the Luke's Bryan's bar more than any other establishment in Nashville. Not on Broadway, in Nashville. That is crazy. So let's keep going. I'm sorry, you guys. That just like floored me. So this establishment that she's referring to is Luke's 32 Bridge, located on 301 Broadway in Nashville, Tennessee. The country music star created the business in association with the TC Restaurant Group. According to Eater, which also runs FGL House and Jason Aldean's Kitchen and Rooftop Bar, which is also located in Nashville. The city has been a long-time bona fide music and party destination, and chances are you've seen jokes on social media about immediately breaking up your significant other if they decided to go to Nashville without you. The implication is that if you are more likely to engage in some type of sexual escapade with a stranger behind your back. But judging from Elliott's TikTok, it seems that folks with nefarious intentions also see the city as an opportunity to drug and SA those looking for a good time. She adds in her video that she was told by a doctor Luke Bryan's bar is the most #1 bar they've had girls my age come in roofied. The experience, according to the TikTok user, sounds horrible. I seriously thought I was dying, but I'm alive now, she wrote. According to the Drug Enforcement Association, roofie is the street term for a type of depressant known as Rofinol, which is the brand name for a pharmaceutical type of benzo. That government agency adds that the drug has never been approved for usage from the FDA in the United States, and it's commonly used to treat instances of acute insomnia. Like most depressants, mixing it with alcohol is a dangerous combination, which more than likely contributed to the sensation of Elliott feeling as if she was dying. According to Nashville Scene, the honky-tonk town has a serious roofie problem, but these cases are difficult to prove and therefore prosecute. This is because individuals will probably not be able to secure footage or receive reliable eyewitness testimonies that someone was trying to spike their drink, like this one TikTok managed to capture by pure happenstance. Nashville, oh, I kind of want to see that. Hold on, let's click this. Woman shares a video on TikTok of a man attempting to drug her at a club. Makes me wonder if this was staged. No one is going to be that obvious. So I did not stage this video. A young lady has taken to TikTok to share a video recording of a gut-wrenching incident as a man attempted to drug her while she partied with friends at a club. The woman shared a series of videos of her dancing amongst her friends throughout the night, having a good time on social media. However, in one of the videos, while she was vibing with unidentified man, can be seen literally placing his hands with folded fingers inside a cup in front of her. Her cell phone camera catches the ordeal as he accidentally drops the cup in mid-movement. The woman, as well as what appears to be an employee of the revenue, immediately catches the man in the midst of his movement and swipes away the cup. As the video continues, the man doesn't appear to notice that the entire incident was recorded and continued dancing in efforts of playing it off. The woman, as well as her friends, are left shocked and physically shaken as another employee comes over to intersect. The woman has since taken to TikTok. Okay, I want to see the TikTok video. I gotta find it. Commenters who replied to Elliot's Elliot's video stated that they had similar experiences while partying in Nashville. One user said she was roofied while she was out with her husband, and she suspected that it was an employee of the spot that they were at. Happened to me in Nash, and my husband was with me, they wrote. Definitely think it was the bartender. Another person who said that they lived in Nashville all their lives and had some recommendations on how to enjoy the nightlife when you're out and about, avoiding drinks from folks, pre-gaming before you get to bars, and keeping a watchful eye on bartenders are par the course for staying safe. Another woman who responded to Elliot's video said that while she was throwing a bachelorette celebration in Nashville, both her and her bridesmaids were all roofied. The Daily Dot has reached out to Elliot via TikTok comment on Luke's 32 bridge via email. Okay, so oh, of course the video is taken down. Son of a biscuit. I wonder why. Ew. Okay. And as you guys can see, look how like this goes on for quite a while. So we're gonna do the rest of these tomorrow. And I want to see real quick before we end if I can find that TikTok video. Fumble starts in 1 minute, so we're gonna be quick. What was her name again? Mm.
I'm pretty sure I got roofied. I don't remember any of it. I never do this. I want to let you guys know what happened to me this weekend. I live here. I've lived here for 8 years now, but I do still have an out-of-state license. That shouldn't change anything about what I'm about to tell you, but it does. I was out. I had a couple of drinks with a friend the other night. It's not like I was going out and partying. I don't really do that. We had like two mimosas, and we went up to a rooftop bar in Nashville to say hi to some friends. We had one drink there, and I don't know what happened after that. I was with a friend. We were making content. Thankful that she didn't take a drink from any stranger, because I'm pretty sure I got roofied. I don't remember any of it. And if you guys know me, I'm really big on remembering things and having memory, and that's how we all live our lives. I never really loved drinking because I hate losing my memory. I know my limit and I know how much I need and how much I don't have, like, shouldn't take. And I was completely blacked out. The bar was trying to get me out of there because I was sleeping at the bar, but I really wasn't. I was just not a person at that time, and I didn't know. Last thing I remember was making videos up there with my friend, and I just don't remember anything else. The hotel called an ambulance for me. They took me in an ambulance to a hospital where they said I just had alcohol intoxication. They weren't helping me with drug testings. They didn't do any of that. They just said, wait here for 3 hours. My friend Ubered to the hospital that they sent me to. She followed that ambulance and they wouldn't let her see me. She waited for 3 hours. And mind you, I have no memory of this whatsoever. I don't know who I am at this moment, which is super scary. She fought for me basically to be able to take me home with her. They wouldn't let me leave because of alcohol intoxication, which is super messed up, honestly, in my opinion. If you're gonna keep me there, then test me for maybe drug use of some sort that shouldn't be in my body. I woke up yesterday morning and just didn't know what was going on. Like, nobody wants that. Nobody wants to be able to feel that way. Like, this person at that hotel still, like, doing that to other girls, like, taking them into their room. And, you know, like, this could be something super, super huge. So I called the police yesterday, and they told me that they couldn't really do anything about it or make a report unless they know that I was drugged. So I went back to a different hospital yesterday. I went to the emergency room and I told them the story. They still treated me, and I brought up the ID thing because they kind of acted like I was the only person that they've ever seen come into a hospital that got roofied or drugged, and they didn't know what to do. Or like the drug tests that we have here only show off the drugs of like cocaine or marijuana, what you would have in your system. It won't show on our tests, so there's nothing we can do. There was actually even a doctor there that said, let me go talk to a smarter doctor. It should not be this hard to get drug tested for those type of things, especially women around this town in Nashville. They should not have been surprised. They should have a protocol. They should be able to help me. I told them, I said, so where can I go? Like, what can I do? This is the first time anything that has ever happened to me like this. I live here. I have an Ohio license, but everybody keeps acting like I'm a tourist in this town, just here to have fun and party and drink. I'm not. I work here. I'm an artist. This is my life. And they treated me like poop. So here I am. I am trying to take matters to myself. I'm not really sure where to go from here. Please let me know if you guys have any advice or options. I just want to make it aware that this is happening everywhere, and it's just like super frustrating for me and probably any other girl who needs to go to the hospital and want to get those kinds of things for them, like to be treated. Like, thank you guys. I love you. Please be safe out there. Always have a friend with you. Just be smart. I love you guys. You're the best.
Okay, guys, I will see you over at Fumbles. Here's the link in chat. If you guys don't subscribe over him, it's always a hoot. No true crime, nothing case-based, just lighthearted, fun, laughs, great people, and ultimately just a really good vibe and a good place to be. I wouldn't want to spend my Friday nights anywhere else, so I hope to see you all over there. And thank you so much for coming. Thank you for all the super chats and super stickers. Rhonda Hauser, Jim Coddington, Kim O, Hotspot. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. And we will pick back up right here where we left off tomorrow. Bye.